thanks everyone for joining us. It's our first AI Unwrapped. We're going to do a fireside chat on bot monitoring. So we're really happy to have you join us today. Like I said earlier, it's kind of a chill virtual fire chat. We decided it's a good opportunity for us to sit down, kind of have a cool back and forth about, what we've seen so far with AI search and bot monitoring specifically. So we really are looking forward to hear from you, and kind of feel free to actually jump in and talk to us throughout. It's a chill webinar, let's say. So let's go ahead and get started. Just to introduce myself, my name is Janaina. Feel free to call me Jana. I'm a technical SEO CSM here at Oncrawl, and I'm actually really happy to be here again with Jerome, my teammate. You want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Jana. So yeah, we're both in the same team, helping our customers use the platform. Been at Oncrawl for 5 years now, and yeah, really into that AI bot log monitoring now.
Yeah, for sure. You've really dived into it. So you've shared some really cool stuff. So I think it'll be nice to talk about it a little bit today. So just to give everybody kind of a recap on what we're going to do today. Again, thank you for joining us. There will be a replay at the end. So don't worry, you're going to get an email in a couple days so that you can rewatch. So if you have to hop off or anything, don't worry about that. And we really, really encourage you to ask any and all of your questions in the chat. So you have the chat tab at the bottom of your screen. So don't hesitate to jump in now. If there's the upvoting feature, feel free to upvote any question that you'd really like answered. So we're going to try to filter it in throughout kind of our talk, but we also have a dedicated session at the end. So don't worry about that. So please ask away. And for today's agenda, we're going to give ourselves like a base of an overview on AI search and kind of where we're at, what we're working with, because it's evolved really quickly, right? And hi Arnaud from Montreal, long time, cool. And we're sorry about that. We'll also have a frequently asked question, and we'll have the dedicated live Q&A as well. So we're actually going to jump right into it to talk about what you're going to gain from today's talk in terms of log file data. And thanks to Jerome, like he mentioned, he really has jumped into it and discovered a lot of things. And so maybe we should start there. I think we kind of need to take it back a little bit. You did a really nice reflection. I think it was 2 days ago, on like how it's been about 9 months, right? That you really dived in and some of the discoveries that you've had. So maybe we should start there and see like what really got you hooked.
Yeah, thank you, Jana. So yeah, so I was reading that. So full story, we started adding OpenAI bots in our log monitoring tool last year, even a year and a half ago. But the question was, what's the value of that data? So at some point, started digging in the documentation and found out about this ChatGPT user bot, and the fact that it is sent in real time when people are actually asking questions to ChatGPT. And that clicked, and so that could be used as a way to measure visibility. And ChatGPT introduced the live search, the search feature. It actually became with ChatGPT 5 even more part of the whole system. So yes, so maybe let's switch to the next slide, and so have a.
Yeah, sure. So basically, the connection to log file data, right, and why it's so important to be used with like what's the data available today for AI search, right?
Yeah. So just to onboard everyone and people who didn't watch the previous webinars, also did a talk at Brighton SEO. So clicks are decreasing, SEO traffic is decreasing, but on the other hand, like AI bot traffic and is exploding. And the dashboard, like the ones from Cloudflare, is showing that trend. A lot of research also. But AI search is still a black box. Not only ChatGPT actually. There is no dedicated AI search console yet, so there is a real lack of data on how to measure it. We don't have the prompt volumes, we don't have impressions, we just have the clicks. But I mean, what happens before the clicks is even more important, because we probably will never get those clicks anyway. So we need to see what that story tells, what this bot traffic tells, and that's where log analysis comes, and it's going to help us study the behavior of those bots. And this data is really valuable. It's your own data. Every website has the logs, and you can look into it and see different insights. And that's the key. It's the understanding of the different AI bots.
Yeah, it's because it's been used for so long already, right, by SEOs in traditional search, let's say, of looking into like crawl behavior for like Google, Bing, and we already have some ideas of like how those traditional bots behave on our site and across maybe different industries. But you've seen and we've seen when we talk with our clients, the behavior, we really can't say it's exactly the same, right? It's kind of completely different when you're using your log file data.
Yes, exactly. That's the whole point. So you cannot, like, it's the same method, same tools, same files. It's just that doesn't tell the same story. You cannot do the same analysis, basically. And that's because not all the bots have the same purpose, not all the AI bots. So we use this classification of 3 categories. I mean, this is not fixed. This might evolve with the AI chatbots evolving as well, introducing agents and maybe a new type of bots. But so far, this is the 3 main categories we've seen. So the ones that are collecting data for the training, such as a common crawler bot, GPT bot, of course, Cloud bot, etc. The ones that are dedicated to indexation and search feature, such as OpenAI search bot, Perplexity bot, and the AI user bots. So the ones that are really crawling in real time to scrape the content. So they're sort of reading the content to get the answer for the users. So when they visit your website, it means that the AI chatbot is trying to use your content to write the answer. And that's the key to AI visibility measurement in the logs, at least. So I wrote this article going into details, trying to explain the differences and what you can get from those different bot kinds. And we did an update and have this new feature, the AI bot monitoring. So you can also track and compare those bots' behavior over time.
Yeah, but there's 2 bots. Let's say if you're really looking to like let's say check behavior and then actually optimize, which are the 2 bots that actually we should focus on? I know you'll talk about it a little bit, so maybe I'll tease of like the grounding bots. Why are they so important? Actually, if I'm someone jumping in or I'm talking with a new client, why would these 2 be the most important ones to focus on?
Yes, so it's also when we talk about the grounding bots, we are talking about AI search bots and AI user bots because they're really involved in this grounding process. So when you use a prompt that is triggering a search, they are the key ones to track. But that's also because the training bots, the one that are collecting data for training, first of all, you don't know if this content is ever going to make it into the model training because there is a pipeline of cleaning data. And so you don't know for sure that this data that is collected on your website is going to be used in the training of the model. Mm-hmm. Plus, model updates, they happen every 6 months, every year, sometimes more. So you cannot correlate the crawl of your pages with the next update's impact. It's too far away. On the other side, those 2 other bots that are involved in the search, that you can really correlate what's happening between those bots and the AI chatbot using the content. Mm-hmm. So search bots, they're most like Google bots. They are here so we've seen that for Perplexity, they are building the index. And for ChatGPT, they might be involved in caching the pages. And for AI usable, just like I said, they are crawling when people are asking questions. And yeah, that's really the key. So you can use them as a proxy for impressions, prompt volume. It's not perfect. There are some limits. It's not going to be the exact volume of prompts or the exact volume of requests, because there is a caching system, so they don't need to crawl every time. They follow redirect, so it's going to double the data. If you crawl the 301, you get a hit for the 301 and then a hit for the 200 status code. You don't know for sure that you're getting a citation in the answer. But yeah, if you filter that data, you focus on the right status code, and you can exclude also pages with thin content or empty pages. You have a metric that you can track over time to measure your efforts.
Yeah. So I think probably a lot, at least that I hear, is when we're actually looking into the log file data, sometimes it can be a lot, right? Without having maybe clear dashboards or something like this. So it's kind of a good way to give you an idea of building specific metrics. Maybe we should jump right into it, like the AI search metrics here. And then how do I actually, that's something that's asked often, is like, how can I actually take action from this information? I see a lot of, I'm pushing out new content. I'm wanting it to perform or have visibility in LLMs, but how can I measure it properly, or how can I give proper reporting on it? So this is something I'll have a back and forth with some of the clients that I work with. But what do you think about that?
So once you're set up and you are able to track those bots, so you have the data, you know how many, let's say we focus on ChatGPT because that's the biggest market, let's say. If you track ChatGPT user over time, you are able to report and measure visibility progression. If the hits from that bot is going up, it means your efforts are paying off. If that bot is crawling more pages on your website, it means that you managed to get more pages used in the answers. So that's one part, measuring the progression. On the other side, it's also going to help you identify actionable insights, because you are going to know pages that are being used and not used, the ones that are being crawled for indexation. You also get the clicks from the logs. And if you cross that data with your crawler, with also Google bot hits, Search Console impressions and clicks, you can get a lot of insights and find ways to optimize, pages to work on, things to fix. So yeah, that's the idea. So when it comes to tracking, two things you can measure. So the total amount of visits, we call it bot hits, and the unique pages crawled. So how many different pages are being used for citations. To have more accurate data, I already said it, you can filter on status code, so that the volume is not affected by redirects and pages not answering in 200, so not delivering content are out of the scope. Yeah, and then if you want to go further, you can calculate some ratios that can be useful. So clicks versus bot hits, crawl pages versus total known page from your website or from a specific category. And and there is more to we're actually working on a dashboard to put that kind of metrics. And the next step is finding optimization. So for example, I mentioned status code. So if you filter on all the bot hits on pages answering in 4.4, so you have all the citation opportunity that you've missed. You can also identify top content, so the content that is fetched the most by those AI user bots. If you bridge the gap, so between Google and AI search, so you can spot pages that are ranking on Google, getting a lot of traffic, but that never get crawled by AI bots. So maybe something is blocking those bots. And then there is the whole correlation search that you can do. So let's say you want to look for content size versus bot hit, schema versus no schema. I mean, a lot of things you can actually look and to find correlations and see what is working, what is not working, and try to work.
Just to see what affects like behavior, right? Every time you drop some knowledge, your bells are ringing a little bit, so it's not. So it's cool, but you're right. Like there's a lot of, I think also across different industries or different brands, let's say, or industries actually, just to see maybe what is working for the site. So some that I speak to, there's an e-commerce that I speak to, and they're looking to really push their blog, and it really is totally experimental, where they're really trying to see improving the quality of the content for their blog section, and then seeing how quickly either it gets indexed in traditional search, and then seeing for AI bots, how often are they receiving those hits between user bot and search bots, and then seeing if there's any correlation between those performances. And like you mentioned, whether it's schema, maybe word count, or like a certain type of format that seems to perform better. So there's definitely, I think, probably this really interesting metrics that you use for traditional search, and how it correlated to traffic improvements or bot performance as well can also overlap with AI bots, right?
Yes. And I mean, the way we're doing it with our users is like very SEO oriented. So on-site optimization. Of course, there is more, like you can work also on the sources, on owned media, on the top used sources that are being used in the answers. But we're really talking about what you can do with your logs to get your website more citations in the answers. Maybe a little teaser for our users for the next report we're going to release. So we are working on a cross-analysis report between crawl data, ChatGPT log data, Google data from the logs, and from Google Search Console, so that you can actually activate what I've been saying. And maybe I'll share my screen a bit. So the idea is that once you've launched the crawl, it's going to take a selected period of data and aggregate it by URL, so we can track those numbers. This is just a prototype, but it's going to be like the main report, so the summary. So we see data from training bots, indexation here, search bots, and potential citations, volume and the number of pages getting citations, and then the clicks, and a nice search funnel. So from all the pages from your website, how many are being crawled by those grounding bots, how many are crawled for citations, and only crawled for indexation, so AI OpenAI search bot, and then how much of them are actually driving clicks. So you can see how this is evolving over time. Some ratios, so clicks versus pages without clicks that are getting crawled by ChatGPT user, citation coverage, so how much of your website is getting potential citations, etc. An ability to dig into that by page type. So here we see the training bots crawling almost all the pages, but when it comes to indexation, you have a different view than citations as well. Clicks is even different. So you can explore what works. You can switch segmentation. So let's say I use article topics, and now I'll be able to see what topics are driving citations or clicks. And so just a sneak peek of how far you can go if you cross that data with the crawler, with the Google bots as well, and we will also have a tab dedicated to recommendations, so things you should do and look at, just like we've seen on the slides.
Yeah, this is great. I think too, because I hear often, sometimes with your execs, you're looking to give some sort of idea of like, what does LLM visibility look like for your site? So maybe this is something, or actually, I think this is something that's going to be able to answer that question for users, so that you can actually present that in a reported format, and to be able to do it at scale too. I think is kind of a big deal to mix with the crawl data.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. Yes, especially when you have large websites and a lot of pages.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Thanks for that, Jerome.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to the FAQs.
Nice. Let's do it. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the first one. So we've put together kind of these FAQs, maybe the top ones, and then we're going to jump into the ones that you have. This one often comes in. So what am I looking for in my log files to identify AI bot traffic? If you're someone who's already using your log files, you're most likely familiar with the contents that need to be there. So, you need your date and time field, full user agent string, status code, so that you can actually see the response that that bot encountered. So when you're actually looking to introduce and have some visibility into them, you want to make sure that the filtering is applied for you to include the user agent string for these additional AI bots. On our side, on the Oncrawl side, we actually have a full published list of all the supported AI bots, including the regex actually. So if that's something you want to share so that the filtering can be added to include them, that's a really useful resource. So I hope that helps. Anything else actually maybe to add, Jerome?
Yes, and if you're doing that analysis by yourself, so let's say you work on a smaller website, you can open the files, you can put them in a spreadsheet. Make sure also that you verify the IP address, because some fake bots are spoofing user agents. And it used to be for Google bots, but now they're also doing that for some the most used user agents from AI bots, such as ChatGPT user, because the tendency is to let them crawl your website for visibility. So yeah, so make sure you check the IP address. I think documentation is listing the official IPs those AI chatbots are using.
Yeah, that's true. So there should be a published list of them so that you could verify. Nice. Next question. Should I be blocking or allowing these bots? It's a really good question. And I think it really boils down to if you're looking for your brand to have LLM visibility. I think some things that I've seen is disallowing, let's just focus on OpenAI, or the AI bots from OpenAI. Disallowing for GPT model to access the content to not be used in model training, but allowing in some cases for ChatGPT user and SearchBot to access the content so that it can be used. I've also seen them all three disallowed, but one specific folder allowed, or one specific page, kind of like a testing to see what it looks like and how often and the volume of hits, let's say. So, but again, I think it really just boils down to if you want that visibility in LLMs or not. What do you think, Jerome, or do you agree, or maybe something else to add?
Yes, so like if you don't want the models to train on your premium content, that it's fine to block this GPT bot, and then you can always allow the other bots, because they're not supposed to use your content for training. On the other side, I've seen some interesting feedbacks of people saying also that by blocking GPT bot, they were less visible because the model wasn't able to access the website, so didn't know much about the brand. So not sure if it's the best strategy, actually. And actually, like blocking just with the robot.txt might not work. We've seen that ChatGPT user is not checking the robot.txt anymore. So you need a DNS, you need a proxy in front to protect your website from those bots if you really don't want them to crawl your content.
That's good to know. Nice. Is there a difference in how ChatGPT and Perplexity crawl sites? You want to take this one?
Main difference is that Perplexity is not training a model. It's just a search engine powered by an LLM. So they're crawling less, a lot less. But they have the same, so they have the same grounding bots, one for indexation and one to read the content live and use it in the answer.
Nice.
So, but the behavior of Perplexity bot, the one for search and indexation, has a different, has a similar rhythm than Google, search bot, OpenAI search bot. So they tend to crawl, each page they crawl only once a day. So when Google is going to be more following signals and coming back sometimes hundreds times a day on a specific page because this one is being updated a lot. What I've seen on logs is that for Perplexity and ChatGPT, they are not that, I would say, clever or they don't have such a crawl strategy. So that would be the main difference. But OpenAI is crawling a bit more than Perplexity from what I see.
I've seen the same when we look for users who have both enabled for visibility in their log files. It's never, the comparison is not, it's never equal actually in the amount of volume of hits.
Even for the search bots, because of course for the user bots, it's not comparable because you don't have the same volume of requests that they're handling. Yeah. But yeah, on the search bot as well. Yeah.
Nice. Next one is Oncrawl going to release an AI visibility tracking report. So you're finding it easier.
Already the dashboard. So yes, but not. So we will not go with a prompt tracking tool. We will stick to, for now, to log, using logs as the main data to measure AI visibility. But this might change. But yeah, for now, we focus on logs, really.
Okay, nice. It's already something really useful, to be honest. So I think it's a really good thing to have. And now we made it through. We finished our FAQs, and now we're going to open up the floor for all the questions that have been coming in. Let's see. You want to pick and choose, or you want me to pick? Let's see.
Let's order them by votes up. Yeah, if you want to start.
Yeah, sure. Let's go here. How do you get bot data in the first place? I track LLM-driven sessions via regex and GA4, but can't say whether they're human or bots. So, or do you want me to go ahead and take it? Do you want to jump in for log file data?
No, I can answer that one. So if you're looking at GA4, it's not logs. It's only human traffic. So in the first place, yeah, you need to ask. Depending on where you are hosting your website, the logs might be available in different places. Sometimes the proxy like CloudFront or Cloudflare is the best way to access your logs. It's not even your hosting system. It's on top of it. Yes, so it's not exactly like analytics tools are not going to be able to give you log data.
So we'll say I'm done answering, and here's the next one, which makes sense. Can you please share a cheat sheet regarding how to filter AI user bot and AI search bot, name, pattern, IP range? Yeah, actually, we can drop in the chat, at least on our side, the Oncrawl. Let's put it here. I'm going to drop it here for everybody.
Yeah, from the help center, we have.
So we have a full list of all the supported bots we have on our side and the regex for them. And then highly recommend following up as well on each of the LLM platforms for all of the published IP ranges as well. Unless you have another cheat sheet, Jerome.
Just wondering if the links to the IPs are not in the article. Let me check. We might have one with all the IPs listed.
Okay, nice. Let's come back. Arno, I hope that helps. And everybody else. So let's go here. Next one. what are you seeing in terms of ROI for clients focusing on AI search and visibility? Do you have any like concrete testing that you can share or something you've talked about?
Honestly, it's a bit early. Depends on what. If it's real revenue, the thing is with AI search, when it comes to ROI, is attribution. Like AI search might be the first touch point if people start chatting with Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever. But then they might switch to Google and verify the information and go straight to the website. So if you're just looking at clicks, of course, the ROI is going to be low. It's hard to make a lot of traffic on ChatGPT for sure. But what we've seen, so if you focus on your logs in terms of ROI, is that at least you can see if you're going in the right direction with optimization. Like if you're doing if the optimization work you're doing is working well, you should have more visits from this user bots, and you should have more visits on more pages and more in volume as well. And this is going to show that you're actually making a good job on the site. So it means more visibility, more citations in the answer. But yes, unfortunately, it doesn't always mean more clicks and more visits on the website. So that's but I guess that's also the issue with all this AI search is that people don't need to visit the website anymore. Not always. Yeah. So also depends on the request that the prompts that you're targeting, the intent. Unfortunately, with the logs, you don't have the intent. You don't know the prompts. There is one way to get some sort of real prompt data. So the query fan out from ChatGPT is available in Google Search Console because they're using SERP API. So when you prompt ChatGPT, they're going to send queries to Google, and those queries, they end up in your Google Search Console. And it's not always easy to spot them, but if you look at zero-click keywords with a lot of impressions and long-tail keywords or mid-tail and some strange ways of ordering the keywords, they're most likely to be generated by ChatGPT.
Nice. We're done with this one. Let's move to the next one. Jerome kind of just went into this one, though. Can you tell us more about query fan out? Did you want to expand on this maybe a little bit more, or should I skip that question? We kind of touched on it. But...
Yeah, we can go more into details.
Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, so the idea is that, depends on the AI search you're using. I mean, when it comes to ChatGPT, like I said, the prompt, if the prompt is going to trigger a search, it's going to the model is going to write search queries, and for each search query there is going to be a search, and they're getting search results, and then it's all aggregated in a big list of sources. You have a title, snippet, publishing date, the URL, and the model has to guess which search result is most likely to contain the answer, and is going to select some of them to read the content and add it as a citation in the answer. So this means that when ChatGPT user is crawling your page, it was already selected as most likely containing the answer. So it's a very good sign. And like I said, since they switched from Bing to SERP API, or at least a hybrid way, so we don't know exactly if they still use Bing or not. But people who made researches about it, they are telling that it's most likely Google only now, plus partners that they work with. So yeah, that's leaving traces in the Google Search Console as keywords. And this is something you can study. Like try some prompts, extract the query fan out, and see how long they are, those query fan out, those queries, if they are stable over time. There's a lot of things to study. Yeah, that's here you can use other tools like this is something Oncrawl doesn't do.
Nice, thank you. Let's jump to the next. From what I've read, CTR from LLMs is very low. It leads me to think LLMs are mostly useful for brand visibility, reputation, not traffic. Would you agree? It's kind of what you said earlier. Not necessarily seeing a ton of traffic or referral traffic maybe right now, and mostly looking for brand visibility.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's yeah, I would agree with that. But it's not only reputation or visibility, because I mean, the thing is that we need to study a bit more like the attribution and this behavior of using the chatbots. I'm not 100% sure it's replacing searches on Google. When you look at the reports, they say that people are using Google even more, at least in terms of volume of requests. So it's just an extra step in the search. Maybe it's replacing some of the queries because you start with AI search, and then you're on the next stage of the user journey when you go on Google. But yeah, so the attribution is hard. So that's where we need to find solutions to actually know what brings business, where the decision was made and what influenced the decision. And for sure, being visible for sure, people are using those AI chatbots. So there is this nice study from September from OpenAI on all the intent. So what people are doing on ChatGPT. Really a must-read study. And up to 25% is search, doing research. So yeah, it's a lot. It's not only for writing your emails or making a summary of a long article. So
yeah, fair. Thanks for that question, Maxime. I hope it helped answer. Let's jump to the next one. This one's related to the funnel, actually, that you showed. So let's put this one up. In the funnel you showed, what do you mean by visibility? Where does it come from? Did I understand correctly that crawling depends on AI bots logs and clicks are tracked with UTM parameters? How is visibility measured? Do you use simulation prompt? We've got a few questions in one question. Where should we start? Maybe, I guess, the first. What do you mean?
Maybe I go back to this funnel.
Okay.
Just to, yeah, maybe I was a bit quick in the presentation. So this is data from Oncrawl, so the crawler, versus data from ChatGPT logs. I said clicks, but actually it's not from, it's from the logs as well, because you can use your logs to spot referral traffic. It's just that we tend to put like words that everybody understands on top of the data. So here, that's the full number of pages that we know from the website using Oncrawl. Here, among those pages, how many were crawled by grounding bots, so OpenAI search bot plus ChatGPT user. And this is for a period of the last 30 days, I think. Here I used, yeah. So then out of it, visibility. So since we know that some of the spot hits are for citations, they go in that category. And then the ones that are only crawled by OpenAI search bot. So they were never used for citation. You don't actually know if you actually got a citation because we cannot tell using the logs. And then out of it, we looked how many of them converted to clicks, so how many pages are getting clicks. But this funnel view is not in terms of volume of visit, it's in terms of pages. So you have a view of your website, and you can spot what part of the website is being used by this LLM or being ignored at each step. So here you have the pages that are crawled for citations but never get clicked. So that's a useful indication. Then you can attach intention to your content and study that more in depth. And when you click, you actually have access to the list of pages. That's the idea behind this dashboard.
Nice. I think that was able to answer most. Let's say, where does it come from? Did I understand correctly? Crawling. So I think we kind of touched on this. I hope that helped. Here's the next one. Can we inspect our website as Googlebot? Can we already inspect our website as an AI crawler? What are the main differences, rendering, indexing, and behavior? Interesting. So can we inspect our website as Googlebot? I guess in the sense of if you have access to a crawler. I think that's how I'm understanding the question, but feel free to, yeah. If you have access to a crawler, you could change the user agent. Put a custom user agent for Googlebot, run a crawl on your site, and you can do a comparison. Maybe you're doing a comparison between the different bot types. You can check how the content is rendered. Checking how the content is rendered actually with JavaScript and without JavaScript is it's an interesting practice. To our knowledge, as everything is evolving, AI bots can see what's in the response HTML, not rendered HTML. So this could be something, maybe an interesting practice to do, to see what content is actually visible to AI bots. Is your key content actually seen? So let's say you're injecting SEO tags with JavaScript, and that's not actually being that's being rendered, but the AI bot can't see that in the response. That's a good indication that that would be missing actually, and it's not accessible to them. Did you want to add anything to that?
Yes. So things are changing fast. So what I would say today is that they still don't render JavaScript, the AI bots, but this might change at some point. They don't do that because, it costs money and they need to crawl every time somebody is asking a question. So, almost every time. But yeah, you're right, Jenna. It's just related to this rendering. That's the main difference.
Yeah. So yeah, that could be that's a good use case that I would personally, and I've done it actually with other users, of doing a comparison to see what's there with JavaScript enabled and not, and then doing a comparison of key content if anything is missing. So that could be a good way to maybe prioritize something, server-side rendering, if that's something that you're looking to change in the future, your rendering strategy. That's a whole other topic, but maybe that could be an interesting development for AI bots actually rendering JavaScript in the future. Who knows?
And also something I wanted to add on this topic, because we are talking about Google. What we are saying today about AI bots, unfortunately, it doesn't work for Google AI mode or AI overview, because they have an index. They don't need to send bots in real time. They don't need, so they don't leave those hints, unfortunately. So it's even more black box, the way this AI mode and AI overview is working, because it's not going to leave traces in your logs, unfortunately. Unless, like when you're using Gemini, notice that if you activate deep search, there is a dedicated bot for this who might crawl your website. Sometimes they send a strange user agent with IPs from Google, but it's not even documented. So we don't know yet exactly. But most of the time, they just can check the Google's index to write the answer.
Yeah, Gemini, right, has access to what's already been rendered or the rendering stack. So nice. So that's a really interesting, thanks for asking that question. Let's jump to the next. Sorry, I think we missed one. Let's show, it's related to the dashboard. Is the AI logs dashboard that you showed, will it be available soon on Oncrawl for everybody? Good question.
Soon, yes. We are actively working on it. I'm working on the charts. The development is on the back is working as well on getting the data available. So yeah, that's going to be available soon. And yeah, there will be communication around the release.
Yeah, for sure. You'll know. We'll let you know for sure. But thank you for that. Let's go. How are we doing on time? All right, we still got some time. Does schema really help increase crawling, visibility, citations for AI search? What's your take? I've seen you actually, I think, post about this on link, or maybe correlations between it.
If the question is, does it increase crawling? No, because crawling is not related to the content on the page. But it might help the LLM understand the content. So I'm not sure exactly what the correlation is. Haven't tested it. Didn't study that in depth. I know one thing is that, again, if we speak about ChatGPT, I mentioned that there is a step where ChatGPT has a list of search results with a URL, title, snippet, and metadata, and the publishing date. So I guess the publishing date comes from the schema date published or date modified. So there is an impact if you are not putting the publishing date of your article as a schema. It might not be available as a metadata. But it also depends on the search engine, the third-party search engine. So if Google is able to provide that metadata, because he found the date in the text with other tags than the schema, might work as well. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Citation, I don't know if it's going to impact. But there might be a huge impact on model training.
So something maybe to test, if that's something that you're playing around with, if you have.
What will be interesting is that once we have this dashboard available for our users, they can do some tests, deploy some specific schema on a set of pages, let the logs history build, and then launch a crawl, and then they can compare pages with this specific schema versus without, and compare if there is a difference in terms of bot hits, in terms of user citations, user bot hits citations, clicks, and you will be able to test yourself.
Yeah, nice. So maybe report back, actually, if you do some testing like that. Let's move on to the next. Hold on, I think we might be getting close to the end of our questions. Here we are. What is the difference between OpenAI ChatGPT user, search bot, and GPT bot? Kind of went over this in one of the few slides. Do you want to do a quick recap, or should we even go back?
Maybe we can go back to the slide.
Here, let me minimize this.
There's this table. We also published an article that goes more in depth, but yeah, those are the three. So GPT bot is a training bot, OpenAI search bot is an AI search bot, and ChatGPT user is a user bot. So yeah, that's really the main differences. I guess we went through this question already.
Nice. So I'm done answering this one. Let's go to the next. Let's start. If in Google Search Console and GSC, if we want to get the queries, can we add a filter on US? Do LLMs search on US SERPs?
Good question. So what I noticed on our blog at Oncrawl, since we translate all the articles in English and French, almost all of them, is that ChatGPT user is crawling the English website even more than the French one. It's not comparable. when you look at the query fanout, sometimes you see that even if you like speaking French or Italian or whatever language that is not English, the query fanout is going to contain English keywords. So, but I don't know if SERP API is set to US or to UK or just yeah. So I don't know how SERP API is set by OpenAI. But yeah, this might be a nice idea to filtering. Like if your market is outside of the US or outside of UK, and you suddenly see a lot of impressions on keywords on those markets, this is most likely scraping tools, SERP API, and probably OpenAI. That's a nice filter. Another filter I use is really like 0 clicks, a lot of impressions. I look like at 1 or 2 days because I have less data. And then I go into the logs, I look for the same day, which pages are getting hit by the bots, and I can sort of correlate and try to find a keyword that is matching a visit, or at least try to find the intention that this page is answering, but just for AI search.
Nice. Thanks for that question, Antoine. Let's go to the next. Let's see here. I see that most AI bot hits are going only to our product pages. Is there anything we can improve so AI crawlers also discover our informational pages and not just transactional? Did you have any like clear examples like this yourself?
In terms of strategy, not really, but it's so first thing, start with SEO. So see how your informational pages are ranking. If some of them never gets hit by those AI bots, maybe something is blocking the access to the pages. And maybe if it's just product pages, they are not accessing those pages via the SERP API. Maybe they are like scraping the product tab from Google. So it might be another way to access those pages. So if there is a real difference, there might be things blocking the access to the bots. Then check if you have indexation issues, if those pages are really indexed on Google, really ranking well. I mean, the first step is to be indexed in Google, to be ranking on Google. You don't have to be on page 1, from what we've seen. Decision from the LLM is made on the snippet, the URL, and the title, and the publishing date. So you could try to update the content, update the publishing date. I mean, things like this, because we've seen that fresh content is being used a bit more. So, and look at your logs if the bots are actually able to reach those pages.
Yeah, because the SEO efforts still 100% matter in terms of making sure your content is seen, it's reachable, it's crawlable, so that it's seen in traditional search engines as well.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, on to the next one. We're down to the last 5 minutes, folks. So if you have anything that you 100% want answered, make sure you drop it in the chat. Let's start this next one. Do AI bots and Oncrawl, does AI bots and Oncrawl are filtered? Do the hits from fake AI bots are removed? If not, is there a way to do it? Good question. How are they removed?
You want to answer that, Jenna?
Yeah, so AI bots and Oncrawl, are they filtered? So we filter all the log lines. We do a check like Jerome was mentioning, ensuring the IP address is included in your log file so that nothing that's spoofed or faked is included in the reporting, because as he mentioned, we have seen it. We do see it happening, not only for traditional search bots, but for AI bots as well. So you should not be seeing them actually in the reporting. We actually have a dedicated section where we can show you the total number of fake bot hits that actually come in per file. So that's actually something interesting to see on the side, just to see how many spoof or fake hits are actually coming in, but not actually providing that in your log file data, let's say.
Yeah. And sometimes the fake bot's just you using a crawler and changing the user agent to Googlebot. So, well, for sure, we are filtering that data.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is LLM TXT, is it crawled? Is it still crawled? It's funny, in the first webinar, we talked about this and you had said you didn't really see it getting crawled at all, right? At least back then. That was in May, I think we said, the first webinar you did together. So right now, what do you see? What have you noticed?
Let's look. Let's look at the data. Okay. But just for one website. Actually, I have a script that is doing this check on many websites. So I can go there. Full URL contains lms.txt. Okay, so that's the last 90 days. And I have bot hits from Bing, Baidu, and Yandex. So none of the, but that's just for our website. And we don't have any href link pointing to that file. This file is not mentioned anywhere on our website. So it's there, it's sitting there just like the robot.txt is sitting there. I've seen on LinkedIn interesting articles on the topic. People have seen that this file is being crawled by Google, by OpenAI, of course by Claude, because they are pushing this protocol. But yeah, not on our website and not on most of the website we actually have access to. So I don't know. I would say not yet. Doesn't mean it is not useful. Of course, if it's not crawl at all, it's not useful. But some of, like with other strategies, like linking a link in the footer to that file, you get a lot of bot hits because bots are following the links. But yeah, doesn't mean it's being used. So yeah.
Nice. Thank you for that. It's interesting to see that over a 90-day period, there was nothing. So maybe if on your side you see something, could be an interesting thing to look into.
And even if the bot crawls it, it doesn't mean they use it again. So
that's true.
We don't know. But like you've seen it, Jana, that yesterday the Google they spotted the LLM file, LMS.txt file in the documentation from Google Search Console.
No, I didn't look at that yet.
And now it's in 4.4. So yeah.
Helpful. Very helpful.
And John Mueller always says it's not useful, we don't use it. But yeah, then yesterday they had 2 files on the website. So
okay, interesting. So someone's playing around with it. Well, I think actually we're at time, everybody. That was a really nice, actually, Q&A. So thank you, everyone, for your questions. Thank you, Jerome, for jumping in and diving into all the really specific ones. I appreciate it. And I hope everyone enjoyed it and hanging around with us around our virtual fire today for the holiday season. So if you want to keep in touch with either of us, feel free to scan the QR code so you can hit us up on LinkedIn. We can talk, ask any questions maybe if we didn't get to it. Otherwise, thank you so much for today. We really hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. That was nice to talk together. So that's cool. And if you're interested to play with your logs or if you have access and you want to look at AI bot traffic, like feel free to let us know or jump into it and let us know what you find. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jana. And sorry for the bell.
Yeah, we'll ring our, hope you got something cool out of it. So thanks, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.